Hey everybody, welcome to Two Shades Darker. I'm Nate. You should know that already. If you don't, now you do, I think. Cool. We're going to talk about aliens today. I'm with my man Scott.
What's up, guys?
We're going to delve into some strange stuff. We're going to talk about aliens. We're going to talk about tattoos. We're going to talk about religion, probably politics. I'm sure it's all like intertwined into one, obviously. And we're going to talk about that because I met Scott at like a barbecue or family shindig at one of our like mutual friends' houses.
Yeah, a few times actually.
Yeah, definitely.
And of course, we got to talking about conspiracies and stuff and bonding over that.
Yeah, of course.
And, so what brought me on today is because I told you that story of my UFO encounter.
Yeah.
And, I actually had a few of them, and it's weird telling people, all your stories because you feel like you feel like another crazy person who's just making things up. It's really weird. You know. So what happened was it was actually August 30th at 6:30 p.m.
Wow, you remember the time and date.
I've actually, like a year later, have gone to the same spot just to see if something else would happen.
Something else would happen.
Nothing, of course.
Yeah, yes.
So, we decided to get Substation in Nazareth, right? And I'm outside with my daughter, waiting for my wife to come out.
Okay.
And my daughter's looking at this cat that's on the rock, and, I see these birds go by. And out the corner of my eye, I see this giant metal sphere shoot over our heads. And the first thing I do is I pull my phone out. I'm like, searching for the camera.
Yeah.
And I just press record and point it exactly where it was. And, later on, I actually, let me back up a little. Okay. So I actually called, non-emergency too, to let them know. And, they even said to me, they were like, you're not the first person to like call about something like that. They're like, I was like, I don't mean to sound crazy, but like, this really
so
just
they
happened.
Sort of acknowledged it.
Yeah.
They didn't just go shut the heck up.
So there's another story too I have about,
crazy.
That involves the police as well.
Huh.
So, of course I'm like freaking out. My wife's like, where are you? I'm like, I'm over here. I'm on the phone with the police and this and that. And she's like, oh, all right, let's go. Like, what's going on? Like, is everything okay? And, we get in the car. I'm telling her the story. And, she believes, but she's the type of person that's like, they're, if they're there, like, what are you going to do about it?
Yes. Yes.
She's more of a person who focuses on, like, today,
Understood. Nothing wrong with that. I mean, you can focus on today and then also think of, could something else exist, possibly? But I think that's okay.
To, like,
pragmatic is a place to be.
She'll point out things in the sky here and there, and she's like, what's that? And I'm like, oh, that's probably just a plane. And it's like, I know she's like...
trying to connect on it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool. That is super cool, though.
So, it's later that night, and, of course, I'm looking at the video again, and I can't see anything. It was literally an 8-second video.
Huh.
8 seconds. So, I'm like, I'm not good with tech or phones or, editing videos or nothing like that. So I'm like, I'm trying to figure out how to slow this video down enough to where I could see it.
Okay.
So at first, the way I found, the UFOs in the video was I would slow it down by frame.
Okay.
Because after reaching out to like friends who I thought knew how to video edit and, they couldn't really do much with it. So I figured out I could just, play it back and slow it down and just save it and just keep doing that. And, I got the video to 4 minutes. That's how slow I had to get.
Okay.
An 8-second video
had
to
expand to 4 minutes.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
So in the frame, I can't see the initial sphere, coming over my head. But what I do see in the frame is it's a disc. It was like a disc, and then you see it here in the middle, and then it moves up to the top of the screen, like right underneath a tree branch, right? I've slowed it down, and like I've screenshot it and everything, and the rest of the video, you could see it kind of pop up to the corner of the sky, and right below the cloud line, you could see almost like this bell-shaped object going in and out of the clouds.
Whoever sent it to anybody?
I sent it to New Fork. I sent it to MUFON.
Okay.
I sent it to UFO enthusiasts on Facebook,
to like the news
Instagram,
or something, just randomly.
I sent it to Tic Tac UFOs.
Okay, huh? And they were just like, whatever. Nobody said anything.
So,
what did they say?
The original video is on my old phone, and my old phone, the screen's completely green.
Okay.
So I was able to find, some clip that I slowed down. Mm-hmm. So it's technically not the original.
It's not the original clip.
And they wanted the original.
No, they want the original because they want to make sure you didn't alter
I'll
it.
go back in and find it, but I'm always like.
Do you have the phone still?
Yeah, I still do.
So I mean,
I still do. I could get it.
Could you just send it to them or something? Maybe they're cooler than we are. Obviously, and
I've
they could just get it out.
I've sent them what I
of
have.
The phone.
I've also sent them other things that I've seen.
But then if you get rid of the phone, I mean, you don't. Then you just don't have the phone back. Like,
I don't want to get rid of it.
You're never gonna.
Yeah.
You give it to them. I'm not saying they're malicious. I'm just saying the likelihood of receiving it back in the same. It's just never. You're never gonna get it back. You're never gonna get the phone back. Right. So yeah. If it was real, like if it's if they go like, oh my god, the phone will just never come back. It's gone.
I've never had like Men in Black come to my door or anything like that. Like.
I don't think they even do that anymore. I don't think they need to. That was like
I don't think so either.
They don't have to do that.
I've seen documentaries where they were these evil, scary people, and then they started to get more involved with the person who was experiencing it and seeing what they were like.
Yes.
So I mean,
they don't have to do that.
I personally don't think I'm a special person or anything like that. So it's just I've always been obsessed with UFOs and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. Watching Ancient Aliens with my grandpa, stuff like that, conspiracies, and as a regular person, you never actually think you're going to see something like that.
You're right. But I think it is regular people who see it because you spend time looking around and not just closed-minded. I was raised, Catholic as Catholic can be.
Right.
So as far as that goes, I mean, aliens, shut up. It's Jesus. It's Mary. If we're talking about crazy stuff, that's the crazy stuff we're talking about. We're not talking about aliens. And so my story... I wasn't watching Ancient Aliens with my dad or grandfather or mother. I actually didn't. I was on the opposite side. My brother's like a neuroscientist, and we used to go to NASA with my mom, and we get Canaveral with my dad and stuff and watch the rockets launch. So I'm science. So I was kind of like this probably, there's Jesus and there's rockets.
Right.
We understand. We did this,
It's not crazy to think that they can coexist.
And that's where, so hold on. So I'm 19 or 20. 18. Okay, maybe 17. 17, 18. Jacksonville, Florida. Best friend Jason. He's been on the podcast. Shout out Jason. What up, bro? This is facts. Comment on the video below. Tell everybody who's going to say that I'm bullshitting. We were driving in the car on our way to one of our friends' house, way across town. Excuse me. And we're driving. We have 4 people in the car. We stop. We push the brakes. Bang. Blinded by a light. Cannot see. We cannot see.
Wow. That's
we cannot hear. Now, mind you, we have two 15 L7 solar barrack speakers in the back with a 1,000-watt Mats amp. We are whamming. And for it to go above the speakers and make it so we're like,
wow, that's insane.
Was insane. Sounding like a rocket launch. Not like nothing weird. No Jetsons shit. Sounded like we're like, shit. And it's blinding, literally.
Wow.
And then it was gone. And then we look out and we're like, what? And all you can see is up there. You can see light up in the sky, gone, ghost, done. We look at each other. We're like, you know what I mean? Did you see that? Did you see, blah, 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 blah. I mean,
that's insane.
It was crazy.
Were there other witnesses?
We have 4 people in the car. I mean, Jason can attest to it, and there's 2 other people in the car behind us. Yeah.
Wow.
Or with us in the back seat. I'm in the passenger seat. Jason was driving. I think it's his little brother and some girl in the back seat.
Did you get see what it was when it was higher up or?
No, to us we wouldn't say UFO. We do because we can't think of what else it would be, but we know what area of town we were in.
Right.
And we know, and what I try to say to him is oh wait, maybe it's a secret silo, and they're launching like a freaking rocket, like the government, launching like a cruise missile, testing a cruise missile or something.
Right.
Because it's the sounds of it to me sound like a real rocket launch.
So did you guys?
But he's like, Nate, that's physically impossible. He's like, where we are, it's like it's the west side of town. Like there's like houses in like the poor neighborhood of town. There's no rocket silo randomly in the middle of the hood. You know what I mean? Like I was like, oh, that makes. You're right. Yeah, next to the church's chicken, there's a rocket.
Was there like any after effects or anything like that, like burns or like anything?
We didn't stop. We did not get out of the car.
No.
We kept it pressing. We just were like, okay, and we did, and to be funny because we were so young, it's like we just went away. We just like went on with our evening.
It reminds me of a story I saw on a documentary about there was this lady who was very religious and she saw some like triangular shaped object in the sky and it was like shooting out like flames from the bottom and like glowing, and she thought it was like the coming of Jesus.
Yes. And
she got out the car to go and worship whatever it was. She ended up getting like radiation burns and stuff like that. It sounds very familiar to that.
Yeah, it was. I'm glad we didn't get out of the car, and I'm glad nobody even went to investigate it. But it was very strange. I mean, and so let me double back. So to go from, you had mentioned you were like raised, kind of watching that kind of thing. I was the opposite. So for me to then actually still see something like that from that kind of perspective,
it's almost like
was
it doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. That's what I was. Yeah, that's what I was saying. Instead of being like we were chosen, it's just it is what it is. You could be anyone.
It's so random.
It's because it's space.
Right.
You know what I mean? And space is just vast, and they can could do whatever you wanted.
So another time, me and my wife were outside in our backyard. We're having a couple of drinks, and this is a little bit after the incident, maybe a week after. And, I'm constantly scanning the skies now at night, while we're out there in the daytime. Because, it happened in broad daylight at the time because it was summer. And I look up, and there's this, like, little white dot in the sky. And I'm like, maybe it's a plane that's, like, really high up. And it was just, like, this little white circle. And all of a sudden, it started to split into 2, then 3, then 4, and then eventually 6.
Cool.
And they all just kind of danced around each other and just like lined up and then just disappeared. And I was actually so happy that time my wife was there to witness it.
Yeah, that's an exceptional.
It was incredible because like she was like, "Yep, I saw it."
Oh wow!
And I was like, and
there's just no way around this one. Like, yeah, you saw this one.
I'm not crazy. I'm not like schizophrenic or anything. Because I told my mom about it, and my mom was like, she's like, "Are you sure you're not like?"
Why would that mean
you're things?
But see, here's the thing, and so this brings a whole different point in. People have ruined it. There's like a lot of other movements and a lot of other things. People ruin, just like with religion. Let's just say, I'm sure. If you go by the teachings that I was raised, if you go by the teachings of Jesus Christ, you will most likely be a wonderful person. Absolutely, no question around it. But the other crap that they have bundled in with it, and the other stuff they've done as in history, under the guise of religion, is where it becomes so sickening that you can't go. We're still going to go to the building.
There's so many different interpretations of it,
And that's not even getting into the 2,000 or 3,000 gods that we could just start discussing. That's a whole different thing. Well, maybe that's the next podcast we do, is the actual religion and God and deity.
Yeah, we'll get
the God and deity podcast.
There's so much to talk about with that stuff.
And so maybe that's the other section of this that we can get into, is especially with like ancient Egyptians. They believed in.
I love that stuff.
In what? Hundreds, thousands of gods and deities and things, and
with the pyramids,
they were real.
And the tunnels, and how like the chambers could have been like some chemical reaction,
something like that, or like the as we said, human hieroglyphics, that type of stuff, like where you've got writings on walls that look an awful lot like, suspicious spaceships
and the astronauts,
like boats that ride in the sky, and then like they come down and give you stuff.
People with animals,
it is weird. It does get to
not
a
only
point.
that, but like even in the pyramids, there's no evidence of like torches being in those tombs. So how did they light the place up? You know what I mean?
I never even thought about that.
I saw it in one of the documentaries.
Yeah, like LED lights. It's just got sick LED lights. There's just some sick LED lighting. They're like, yeah, bro.
So,
I love Stargate. You ever seen Stargate? Not the 1991 movie, of course, but
I've seen Space Odyssey, of course.
Dude, you've got to watch
Independence Day.
Stargate is wrapped around. They get the gate from an Egyptian tomb, from a pyramid.
Stargate, so like a portal.
It's a whole bunch of rooms, it's a whole bunch of rings, and you step inside of the ring, and you can go to wherever the hell you want. Or it's a gate, you can go wherever you want. and it takes you to like different dimensions that an alien race previously had conquered, and they put up these gates so they could transport themselves from one planet to the other that they conquered. Then there's like a war over these gates because it lets you go around like every galaxy ever.
I've heard that.
And there's all of these different people who are fighting for said gate and technology. We end up with 2 of the gates on planet Earth. We like get them, and so we have like our military going, and that's where Stargate program comes from. We have these cool dudes who go and like explore, like kind of like Star Trek. You have the Prime Directive. You don't go there and fuck with their town,
right?
But if they have a problem, they come and help solve it. Oh, I fucking love it.
Like a galactic federation.
Yo, yeah, it's the shit. You'd love it. You'd love it. And it's all like hieroglyphic-y and all and like every one of the bad guys is named after an ancient Egyptian god.
Right.
Generally of like war, like so.
That's interesting.
They have like Hathor and like stuff like that. Like it's all like it's great.
So one other thing I wanted to talk about.
I just went off on a freaking Stargate rant. I'm a nerd.
So, about the police being involved with one of the incidents. So,
yeah,
me and my wife are walking out of our house, and we're getting in the car, and, there's a spot on the side of my house where state troopers usually do, like, traffic stops for people who blow through the stop signs. And they were always there in the summer. And we're standing out there, and we're looking at this thing in the sky, and it's, like, rotating, and it has like these 3 prongs, and it's spinning while moving in the sky. And this cop looks over at us, and he's like, "What are you guys looking at?" And we're like, "I have no idea."
Yeah, well, what are we looking at?
He gets out of his car, and he steps onto my lawn, and he looks at it, and he's like, "What the hell is that?" He was like, "I have never
oh my god
seen anything like that before." He was like, "It's not a plane, it's not a drone." He's like, "That's incredible."
Yeah.
And then we all agreed. He was like, "Well, I don't know what to do about it." He was like, "I don't know."
Yeah, who am I going to call? Like a fucking MIB?
Like,
what are you going
to try and catch it?
Yeah. What?
And he was like, "I can't wait to go back and tell all these other guys." And I've had like different troopers who also.
I mean, they work like all night long. You got to think about people. You got to think about stuff like that. People who work like all night long out on like an open. Like a state trooper who works like on Highway 101 in the middle of nowhere. You're out there by yourself all night. It's dark as fuck.
Well, I mean, there was
You'd have to see some cool shit run, regardless of if it's a UFO or just animal life or just anything. Everything would be really pretty cool.
There was that incident at the Lehigh Valley Airport where there was like orbs flying around.
Oh, that's right. There was
like a news article about it.
Yeah, I know. I mean,
so it's not like they're not acknowledging it either. I mean, our own government acknowledges it.
No, it's been acknowledged. But it was acknowledged during COVID and during something else. There were 2. I can't remember exactly, but there were 2 things going on, like the election and COVID or something, and it was like tied hand in hand. Yeah, and then they were literally like, aliens are real. They literally came out were like, aliens are real, and everybody went, fuck Trump, fuck Biden. It's like, oh my god,
that's crazy.
Well, they just said aliens were real.
And of course, I see this thing in 2020. My first incident was in 2020.
Oh,
it's
there's
crazy.
Nothing more outrageous than what already happened in 2020. That's why you can't.
We're living in a strange.
There's nothing for you to even say. Like we see some. You could go article to article and look up very strange stuff every day. I can go to my phone every day. I wake up and I look at the news and I get like a news brief. I love the news and I look at it around the world. I watch
the news all the time, of course.
And it's silly. There's some really weird stuff going on. No matter what it is, no matter what you believe in or what side or whatever. No matter what, you've got to open the paper and go like, what?
There's these things flying around. I mean,
yeah.
Who's to say they're aliens or not? But
you're right. Yeah.
All we could say for sure is that there's stuff in the sky that is not an airplane or a drone.
So do you think...
what could they be?
Do you think that we could be... Do you think that we could have died... I don't mean us died. I mean, like humans have died... and then done it again. Do you understand what I'm saying? Trying to like the theory of like the aliens could possibly be like us from like 7,000 years ago, and we've been on the planet Earth for so long. And did we do this, like before, and then like
they
crumbled, and then we came back, and then crumbled? Did we figure out time travel, and then we went forward, and now we're coming back to be like, oh, they're not even ready for us to tell them. We're not even gonna tell him.
Yeah, it's so
These guys are
weird.
assholes.
You
Look
would
at him.
think
Look at this guy.
an
He just
intelligent-
this black guy just punched an Asian guy on the subway.
Right.
What the fuck? No, we're not telling them about time travel. What would they do? Time travel with that crap?
We're just
Bring that crap
not ready.
to the future? You know what I mean? Like, loot a store? Loot a future store looting and cross burnings?
How intelligent they are, you think they would be able to at least clearly tell us, hey, like, you guys are fucking up.
Yeah, this is terrible.
You think
Yeah,
would
they
be
should
clear,
just
right?
land. You would assume that they let's just go full nutshell right now, and let's just go. They're amazing, super cool spaceship. They could land, invincible force field, loudspeaker. You guys suck. You know what I mean? Like
right.
what? And here's why. Here's why. You know, like, and roll out a capsule of
We can all just
why
be
we
like,
blow.
all right, let's just fix it.
Let's just do that. Oh, you mean we could be like you? Yeah, if you stopped, you know, if Africa could stop cutting each other apart, if Russia and Europe could stop hacking each other apart, if in America we could stop hacking each other apart, and I don't just mean physically. You know, this is ridiculous. I think that's another reason why people reach for something like Aliens. People who maybe not have seen something, maybe that's why deep inside we want to also believe in that, because it gives you something to think about and something to hope. Oh, maybe that is super cool.
I still believe in religion, you know?
Okay.
Maybe not the same way most people see it, you know? Like, I like to think a lot of the stories might have something to do with extraterrestrials, you know? And also, who knows?
I mean,
if extraterrestrials are real, maybe religion is real. Why can't they both coexist?
They could. There's always two
outrageous
ideas that could be. Two ideas can be.
Right?
Be in one's head at the same time.
And it also just makes you feel good to be able to, like, you know, take a moment by yourself and just, like, pray or, you know, talk to someone you think is listening.
That's true.
It's spiritual. It makes you human. It's the sweetness of being alive, is the wonder and curiosity in the world.
I think that's true. I think wondering is one of the most important things. And then figuring it out, hopefully. You know, I think an endless wonder sucks, because I think that can tear you to pieces. I think it's like, you know, you watch a cop show, and you watch, like, the detective who's like, I've never solved the crime, and he's like, he has a bottle, and he's just on the ground, you know what I mean? He's like, son of a bitch. And, you know, it's like it's an endless mystery.
Yeah.
It's an endless mystery. And
so many people have passed without seeing, like, UFOs and stuff like that, and then there's people who see them, and you're like,
do you think in the Vatican they just have the information for this stuff?
I mean, there's.
Do you want? Let's be honest. Let's be honest. Yeah, like let's be serious. Like CIA, and I don't mean like weird. I'm not talking about like special black helicopter op, but I'm just being. They do gather information. It is what they do.
Yeah.
I just mean realistically, do we think that they've got the goods? I would assume the Vatican would have the goods. The Vatican's got the goods. I mean, everybody wanted in there. Hitler wanted in there. Everybody wants in there because they want the shit that they've got in there. Like, they've got some stuff in the Vatican. They've got some stuff. I mean, that's not even like, and not even just on aliens. I'm talking about, I was watching a show the other day, and I can't even remember what it was about, but it was like secret. They were like, the Vatican actually has the actual answer. And they were like, but they've said that they just can't tell anybody. I'm like, oh, Christ. Like, so it's just, they're like, no, yes, we have it. It's in the vault. No, we can't show you or tell you.
Wow.
Oh, that's acceptable. You know what I mean? Like,
it's not like anybody can do anything about it.
I would assume release all of the information.
Who's going to make them?
What's worse than you being accused of raping 1 million children over the last 100... I'm being honest. You can't just release everything in that vault. You should just placate everybody. Release every cool...
Who's to say the people at the top aren't those people?
Yeah.
You know?
Well,
I mean, look at all the corruption that goes on, man.
Maybe you're right. Maybe they are those people.
All the crazy stuff you hear in the news about Epstein and Prince Andrew and all that stuff. Who knows, man? It's insane.
Oh, Lord. That is true. I don't know what to do. Epstein. People know everything. They know the stuff. They know the deal. And we're never going to know.
Well, no, we won't.
That's kind of strange. We're never going to know.
Maybe they'll give us something. But even if
they did, and then we just said that. We did. They told us.
Even if they do come out and say clearly, like, there are alien beings from another planet on Earth, who's to say they're not lying? You know?
Oh.
Well, I mean, like, there was
who would they have to say they are, though?
That top secret project from Project Blue Book where they were going to stage an alien invasion.
Well, yeah, that's a good idea.
I mean, one thing that would
We
definitely...
should stage one right now in Russia. We should stage a fucking alien invasion.
You know, I guarantee you there's going to be documentaries about people's experience in Ukraine during the war, seeing like these different things and stuff like that.
Oh, I'm sure there's going to be some weird stuff.
There's
yeah, you're right.
Because
they like mix into the... They probably mix into the fray a little bit. And they are launching bombs. I mean, they are...
It's getting messy, man.
It's got to look strange. If there is somebody if somebody is up there monitoring, you would see that, you know. Like, it's on my scanners,
yeah,
you know what I mean?
To turn their heads now, you know?
Yeah. I wonder.
It's crazy.
I wonder. I don't think they'll ever tell us. I think the only way we're ever going to know is if literally just aliens start, like one of the movies, we're like, oh crap, there's one outside. You know, and we have like a photo that can be like, yo, no, seriously. Like,
I mean, how many times
blow
has that
up is
happened in
outside.
history, though, that they've covered up and stuff like that?
But I mean on a massive
Roswell,
scale. No, I mean on like more than like one in every
like
neighborhood.
a big city, maybe.
One in every neighborhood. Yeah, there's a few in the Bronx, there's a few in Harlem, there's a few in Manhattan. You know, where you have like a few everywhere and you're like, oh no, we've all seen them. They're just hanging out. You know, like at the bodega.
Like Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy type stuff.
Yeah, I love Zaphod Beeblebrox. I love Hitchhikers. Well, this was a good intro. This was a good, fun talk. I think we're going to expand this longer. We'll do this another time.
Sure, man. This was really fun.
That's
I really
awesome.
enjoyed
Good.
it.
I'm glad.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, you're welcome. Please, thanks for coming and talking all this BS with us. And if you think it's BS, let me know. If you don't, let me know. Because I don't think it's BS.
It's not. It's
and
not.
I think it could make a lot of sense.
I have no reason to lie.
Yeah.
Nobody really...
Oh, not your story. I mean people who might think that anyone who says anything about aliens is, oh, it's just all blah. But listen.
There's something there.
That same person will tell me that they've seen a ghost. And then I'm like, oh, and then I got to go, oh.
Right.
But,
right.
you know.
And then you're like, maybe they feel that way about me.
Maybe they feel that way about me.
I'm being hypocritical.
So let's all just listen to whatever they said.
Yeah.
If the facts don't line up, they don't line up, man. Do your own research. Do your own fact-checking. Don't believe anything anyone says until you have a reason to.
You've literally got to see it for yourself.
You've got to see it for yourself.
Like, no one's ever going to be able to tell me that it's not real. I've seen
yeah,
it.
no one can tell me
to prove it to anybody. Nope. I know what's out there.
Nope. My friend Jason was there with me. So were other people. We talk about it for some reason, you know, once a month. We'll bring it up to each other.
Of course.
It's a thing.
It's a thing. It's part of our culture now. Yeah. And it's crazy to be alive in an era where there's this crazy war going on. We just came out of a pandemic, pretty much. And we have all this UFO activity going on. It's a strange world, and I think it's going to be great to talk about it. You know, and hopefully we'll still be here, you know, and nothing goes wrong.
You're right. I would love to see, not the Mars attacks, but, you know, they land on the White House lawn and they come and talk to people, and we're just literally talking. We're not on some violence, but on some actual. And hey, listen, we got stuff to do. Like, you guys know, we could have you like keeping your vegetables going so everybody could eat food,
right?
Like what? Well, yeah, we actually could do that anyway. We just don't because we like to keep money. That's where it would really. We can already grow vegetables for everybody on the planet. We just don't.
I don't understand why they'd want us to suffer first. I guess maybe to learn.
Our people want us to suffer first. I think they might even have already reached out. But I think our people don't want it. Yeah, the same reason weed's been illegal, the same reason this is taxed, that's taxed, and everybody's got their fingers and everything. You donate money to Red Cross, but really 8% gets to a poor person. Like, that's not...
I've seen...
Sick! It's sickening.
Articles about different charities.
Aliens don't... Why would they care? That's sick. They're like, we could give them some stuff. They're going to steal it.
Right.
They're not going to give it to anybody who needs it. Going to actually tell anybody how to rise up. That's not what's happening.
It's sad, and all you can do is protect your kids and love your family. That's all you can do.
And you can watch 2 Shades Darker. See that? See what I just did? Professional. Check out Scott next time. We're going to have fun. We're going to talk about... I think we're going to talk about religion next time, because I think we have some... I think we can really
That'll be fun.
Dig deep, get into some of this Vatican stuff, you know, get into some of the... I mean, there's a lot of deep history there. Da Vinci and, you know, all this, like, Michelangelo and the artists
all
with
the hidden stuff and
the hidden stuff, and the way they were, like, funded by the Vatican to paint the paintings, which is cool. And
that's really cool.
There's just lots of cool stuff. So, thank you so much. It was nice having you on.
Thanks for having me, man.
Awesome. Guys, stay 2 Shades Darker.